Hey everyone, welcome to day 5 of 2020 Make Some Money. I'm Nicole, your host. Facebook audio was a little skippy this morning and it was annoying, at least I thought, so I wanted to re-record this. So before we get started, I wanted to talk a little bit briefly about the difference between a landing page, a one-page website, and a regular website. We're going to do the final steps to launch our landing page, and we are going to start some marketing stuff. So let's get this party started. First off, a landing page is a page with one purpose, and I have an example landing page that I had developed right here when I was starting to play with this software a bit. Now, as you see, first of all, there's no navigation. So I can't really click anywhere else. I'm sort of like stuck on this page, but I can scroll down. And what you'll notice is all of the messaging on this page has to do with this one offer, which is Anchor Space's virtual membership. That's my co-working space. If you guys want to hang out with me more often, you should join the virtual membership. But anyway, as you scroll down, you'll see, that virtual membership. Oh, here's a video testimonial about virtual membership. Anyway, all of it is pointing toward virtual membership. We can't navigate anywhere else, and one page, one purpose kind of thing. So these pages are great, especially if your website has a lot of content on it, or maybe you're trying to think of a pilot offer of something you don't normally do, but you want to kind of test the grounds on. So let's say that most of the time I do like in-person networking events like that's my thing. But maybe during pandemic times, I think, you know what? I want to offer a really intense Zoom class for fellow meeting organizers. So it has to do a little bit with my business, but maybe I don't want to add this whole section on my website yet. I just want to see if people even be interested. I can landing page, I can take out some Facebook ads and collect some traffic. Now, this one thing this web landing page should be doing, thing I should have on here is the ability to subscribe to email updates, because someone could get here and maybe not be ready to buy yet, but they would become an email subscriber. So on a landing page, we should have two options. One, buy something, or two, join an email list for updates. Now, there's a whole group of websites of one-page websites out there. And what's really funny is whenever I start thinking about them, barbershops for some reason do a lot of one-page websites. I don't know why. So what you'll notice first off is that this site has a navigational menu on the top. Now, look at what happens though when I click on it. Down to the barber section of this homepage. And if I go back to COVID, I go back to the top. So, if I click on something, it basically goes to that section of the site. Now, if we scroll through, we see that, there is a little bit, there's a little text block, there's some hours and stuff, there's some pictures, there's some pricing. So if you have a small business, a website like this can serve you really well. First of all, it looks great on mobile. It's going to load fast. It's really scrollable and it looks really nice. And yeah, this can serve basically all your functions. So a lot of business websites are moving to this kind of setup, by the way. So you probably, if you start looking for them, you'll start noticing them out there. And you don't notice their one-page websites until you know what you're looking for. Now, the final kind of website is just regular, and this is my site. So there's a lot of content on here. If I went to the online courses section, you'd see all the online courses that I have for sale. So obviously, if you have, 1,500 blog posts and a bunch of a bunch of specialized pages that do certain things, all that, you're probably going to need more than a one-page website. But if you're taking this class, chances are it's a little bit daunting to think about building something like this. This represents a lot of decisions. Whereas something like a landing page, it's still, a presence online where you can communicate something, but it's much more manageable. You can experiment with, what's your messaging like, how to write these different kind of short forms of copy. You can experiment a little with photos. You can, try selling a product. So that's why we're starting with a landing page. It's not that I don't want to teach you how to build a whole on website. But, what we want to try to get happening right now is some money in your door. So we want to deploy solutions as quickly as possible. So today what we're doing is we are finishing the MailChimp setup. Now, again, I did this in a previous recording, so I already have pressed the launch button, but where it will appear is if we're logged into our mail account, and if we go under campaigns, now your potato pandemic cookbook might be in draft form. Now, as you see here, I've had 2 visits so far, which is kind of frightening. And what I can do now is I can edit it. So even after the fact, after you publish it, you can always make changes on it if you like. Now, where the whole promote your page button for you, since your page is in draft form, it'll be published. Now, publish might be grayed out because you can't click it yet. What you need to do is fill out all of these required fields, everything that has a green check mark next to it. So your page needs to have a title. So in my case, I have my product title and then the name of my business set up that way. So this is what's going to show up in the browser tab. So if I could see this whole tab, it would say the Potato Pandemic e-cookbook or whatever. And if we look back here, potato, that's where it's going to display. We have the URL. Now what I can do is I can use a custom domain. And now I'm in the process. I will show you how to do that right now if you bought a custom domain. But what you can also do if you didn't buy a domain is you can just set your little search engine friendly handle there. But it is going to look like, if you look at your link, it's going to look like this. It's going to have MailChimp / some random number / the name that you actually want to use. So just know that, using your own domain obviously makes it look a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click connect on domain. And what we're going to do, we've already purchased a domain. So we're going to connect existing domain to this account. So I'm going to click connect domain. And what it's going to do, I put in the domain and it's going to give us, I'm going to pretend to connect a different domain, by the way, because I'm already trying to connect the other one. Now, what you'll notice is that it's going to give us what's called a CNAME record and an A record. So within where we bought the domain, which is your name sheet where, I closed it. Did I close it? No, I didn't. It's right here. Sorry, I just have too many things open. What you'll notice is when I go to my dashboard, which is where you get in, you're going to be able to see that, if you bought just one domain, there'll be one domain back there. But if you bought more than one domain, you'll have more than one back here like I do. You're going to click manage. And then you're going to, once this loads, you're going to click on the tab that says advanced DNS. And you're going to feel like a total nerd in a good way. I certainly feel like a nerd in a good way when I do stuff like this successfully. Is what you're going to see is you're going to see a CNAME record, and what you're going to do is edit. So their CNAME record was already here, and what I did is I just added what MailChimp put in for me. Did I put it? Oh, that's in the CNAME record here, and then you're going to add a new record called an A record, and you're going to put in the @ sign. And then you're going to put in that second number that MailChimp gives you, okay? And then you're going to click this green check mark to save the changes. Now, I'm not going to save this because I've already added the A record. Now, what you'll notice behind my landing page, like I was trying to add that domain, is that I already have a domain in progress. And that domain, believe it or not, things on the internet do not happen instantaneously. Let me go back to there we go, back. What you'll notice is that I started the domain sort of verification process, and it's taking time to, so let me go back to connect the domain to show you what's going to happen. So there is so see, look, I saw this one, I didn't start it yet, but here I updated it, pressed save within MailChimp. So I updated it in Namecheap to basically say, hey, connect up to this MailChimp thing. And then in MailChimp, I pressed save. And then now it says verifying domain. What it told me was that it was going to email me when that was finished. and it could take up to 24 hours. So it's a good thing to, some stuff just takes longer than you would think, even though it's online, that things do take time um, to propagate, I guess we would call it. So you fill out your page title, you pick your URL, and then you click launch and your website's live, like mine is right now. So this is a live website that I can send people to, and that's what it says on the very top here. So you're going to finish your ebook and you're going to connect it to your domain if you have bought a domain. Now, the other parts that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up a Facebook and an Instagram page. Now, for most people, Facebook is more than enough for, and Instagram are good marketing platforms. Okay. So what I did is I had facebook.com and an account with the Gmail address that I had set up on day one. Once I have the account and I verify my identity, because it'll send you an email to just make sure you're a real person. I'm going to go to facebook.com/pages and I'm going to click create a page and I'm going to follow the steps to do this. I'm also going to create an Instagram account with the same email address. You can use whatever they call it a handle. You can call your business name whatever. It just has to be associated with an email address. So you're going to make a Facebook and an Instagram account. That should take, fill it out as completely as you can. You can even use your new URL if you want to when it asks you what your website is. And then you're going to write some content. Is with my kind of writing and documents and stuff like that. We've set up this Gmail account. I like to keep stuff within Google Drive. It's like Microsoft Word, but it's in the cloud. So if I wonder, oh yeah, where's that bio I wrote? Or, oh, where's that spreadsheet I was working on? I know it's going to be in my Drive folder. So the first item I've added to my Drive folder, I have created a new document and I have called 10 social media updates. So what I challenge you to do as a last task for today is think about 10 different ways to talk about your new website with your potential customers. So my example is I've written an ebook of potato recipes to get through a pandemic. But your thing does not have to be pandemic themed, by the way. I was just trying to call my cookbook something fun, and potato and pandemic both start with P's, and that's fun. So, in my one update, 150-pound bag of potatoes, $20. 30 days of comfort food cooking with your family, priceless. Download the Potato Pandemic Cookbook, ebook, because I want to set that expectation. That is not a book. It is an online book, because I don't want to print it. But maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll print it. Maybe this whole video series will go viral and I will just get famous on my Potato Pandemic Cookbook. Okay, the other thing we're doing too is I'm saying, hey, listen, you can pre-buy it at a lower price right now, right? Before you see it, and then it's going to go up. So that's another message that I want to put in here. So and then I'm going to put my URL in there. Oh, it's making grammar suggestions. Yeah, I got it. Okay. There we go. The other great thing about Google Drive is it'll tell you. So what you want to do is you want to think about your thing from different points of view and what the different kind of selling points are. So maybe it's that it's at a really good price point. Maybe it's for a certain group of people. Maybe it's got these interesting, you see my examples here. We're donating 50% of our revenue to local food banks. Every country has a potato recipe. We've tried them from Canada, Kenya, Russia, and other far-flung places, right? And then I've got my mom contributed a bunch of recipes. So, I kind of invoked how your mom had the best potato recipes? Half of our stuff is from an actual good cook mom too. So see what memories you might uncover with our potato pandemic cookbook. So like you might have had stuff in your childhood that tasted really good and you don't even remember to think about it. Why pre-buy? Anyway, um, the example I always use for this, by the way, is for my co-working space. It was around Christmas, and I posted a status update that said, "Have a bunch of Christmas cards to write. Like, come to Anchor Space with your pile, spread out on a table, and finally get those Christmas cards done." Guess what? Someone walked in and they said, "Oh, I saw that I could do my Christmas cards here." And in my mind, I was thinking, "Of course you can do your Christmas cards from here. We're a co-working space. We have tables and chairs. Like, that's pretty much like anything you can put on a table, you can kind of do from here." But because I framed it in a certain way, they were able to think about becoming a customer. Now, you don't have to do this all in one go. It's a little bit, sometimes, so just kind of let your brain think about it. Leave this tab open on your computer. And maybe when you're walking the dog or washing the dishes, you'll be like, "Oh, I could talk about this." But we want every update to link to your landing page. Now, I'll link back to my real landing page once my domain name is connected. But for now, I'm like putting this in because I know this link works. So try to write 10 and try to think differently. It feels repetitive because we're looking at a bunch in a row, but we're going to be spacing these out over time, and it won't feel that way when they're in somebody's news feed or Facebook feed or Instagram feed, because they'll be with lots of other content as well. So finish up your landing page, connect your domain, or at least start that process if you're going to do that with changing some records here. You're going to make a Facebook and an Instagram page. It can be pretty blank, but fill it up as much as you can. Write a little about paragraph, upload your logo as a profile image, whatever. And then I want you to write 10 steps about your product that you're selling on your landing page. All right. See you guys tomorrow.